Welcome to Lawyer Business Advantage. This podcast is dedicated to helping attorneys earn more money, get better clients, and spend more time with family. I'm your host, Alay Yajnik, founder of Law Firm Success Group. Smart business guidance for small law firms begins in 3, 2, 1. And it's my pleasure to welcome back to Lawyer Business Advantage my co-host, Chelsea Pagan. Chelsea, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I had a nice workout this morning. I went and got a nice little stretch. I feel energized, so I'm ready to go.
That's great. That's where you and I are different. I got up this morning. I slept in for a half an hour, so I got up at 5:30 and got dressed and went to work.
Yeah, that's nice too,
There's, there was no one on the road. It was a nice drive, and yeah, I got a
Yeah,
lot done this morning. So
good.
it's really interesting. There's no one way to do this.
Yeah.
But you and I were going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is marketing, specifically digital marketing. So
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about why this is something that's on your mind recently.
Yeah, I just feel like, especially post-COVID, where, everyone was kind of isolated and everyone was using social media to not only just connect, but to share what they're doing. Huge boom of digital creators and sharing of information is that I feel like lawyers on social media can be so uh boring, right? For lack of a better term. Um, and for me, I feel like there's an underutilization of online media, digital marketing, social media by lawyers to connect with not just potential clients, but colleagues and build a brand of trust just about talking about what you do. More often than not, our stories are actually interesting. I feel like I just had this conversation with some friends of mine, and we were talking about, if we could follow each other and like take your friend to work day,
Yeah.
right? And one was like, well, I just, I'm a PE teacher and I would just be playing with kids all day. And I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. And then the other girl was like, I feel like you guys would be boring. It's like a bunch of algorithm stuff. You wouldn't know what you're talking about. And everyone was like, I feel like it'd be so interesting to sit in your office and listen. Obviously, they couldn't do that with the kind of work I do, but and I go, I don't know, I don't know, but there are people who are so interested in what other people are doing, and they really don't understand. And lawyers just have such an untapped market of of an ability to connect with people and share. And I love obviously talking about stuff. I created like an online course and built an Instagram, and I just had so much fun with it that I feel like from a business owner's perspective, there's more to it than that I want to learn about, I want to invest in. So I just feel like content creation and digital marketing is just a huge missed opportunity for law firm owners.
The irony there is it's actually well known that lawyers and law firms have amazing stories. There have been so many
Yeah.
TV shows and movies about different aspects of the law in
Mhm.
different cases. And I know a lot of that's fictional, but it's really, really interesting stuff. And there's a
Yeah.
lot behind it. And every attorney has their own story that they bring to the table. But you already have a digital marketing company, right? So
Yes,
what
I
is
do.
it that they're doing for you? What is it that maybe they're not doing for you that you're considering adding on at some point?
Yeah, so our marketing company focuses a lot on the SEO, the Google aspect, maximizing our website, kind of organic leads, and they connect a lot of our marketing to, Facebook ads occasionally, our YouTube, and sometimes LinkedIn. But a lot of it's like our blog and just basic information versus us, my face, my who I am as a lawyer and the story and energy that I can bring and sharing actually helpful information that not just our clients can benefit from, like our actual paying clients now, because we want to provide services that, benefit them, but appeal to people who maybe aren't necessarily getting a divorce, but want to educate themselves about the ins and outs, in my case, family law, because that means all sorts of things. That doesn't mean you have to be getting a divorce for this to matter. It could be you're dating somebody and you want to know more about prenups. Maybe a prenup's not for you, but you just want to educate yourself on what that means when you actually say I do. And people are looking for real connection. They're not looking for picture slides or a still picture on a Google ad. Those can be effective when people are searching for those types of things. Like you're actually in Google searching divorce lawyer in Santa Clara County, then the ads have value. But what about the people who don't know that that they should be searching for this information? Content creation and specifically social media. And with that, I'm going to put LinkedIn because obviously LinkedIn is a form
Mhm.
of social media and
Totally.
an important one that I know very little about maximizing the benefits of LinkedIn. And that's one thing that, is on my list this year to really know more about. But being willing to actually put your voice, your face, and not live content, but recorded content, but out there because that is what people the data shows us, right? That's what people are most attracted to. When you see these viral videos, they're not viral still pictures. They're viral videos of actual people sharing information.
Yeah, that's a great point. And with something like family law, something that is the consumer facing, they are going to be, jumping on YouTube and jumping on the internet and trying to find answers to some of these questions.
Hmm.
And they kind of go down that rabbit hole, right? We've all done it, where they'll find something and then look at who did that, and then go visit the YouTube channel, and then
Yeah.
go visit the TikTok and Instagram or whatever it is, and just kind of follow that and get to know the person.
Hmm.
And by the time they've reached out to you, they're like, "Oh yeah, I spent 3 hours kind of reading up on you and stuff. Let's
Yeah.
get to work."
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, there's this really, really great Instagram. It's called Law Mother. And she does these little videos on a range of different topics. Lots of it's estate planning, but it can be business related or even family law related. And they're kind of silly. She has like a green screen picture in the background, and it's like sometimes she'll wear a wig and she'll be talking to herself, but as two different people having a conversation. They're just so well done that like I know a lot of this stuff, but I still watch them because I just find her to be kind of silly and relatable. And she has a really, really big following, and she kind of created a whole other business from just doing this content creation, separate from what she was doing as her actual job. And I'm not saying that's what every lawyer needs to do to benefit from digital marketing. You don't have to be a content creator to see the benefits, but for me as somebody who no, this shouldn't be a surprise. I like talking about this stuff. I you can ask one question and I can usually talk for a half hour about it. I think some lawyers can relate to that as
I
well.
think that's something your clients probably really appreciate about you.
Maybe at times I think for sure you'll have to ask Emily someday. You'll have to have her on here with me to ask some questions because I definitely can dominate a conversation and I think sometimes she likes that. But that you don't have to be trying to be a content creator to maximize from it, but it's about branding and trust building at the same time. And I just feel like, when you're building a big business, the more brand recognition you can have, the more you can spread your reach, the more people are going to refer like, "Oh, hey, I've been following this person on LinkedIn or I have this law firm that I follow online. They have a bunch of content and I want to go see if they'd be a good referral source for my client or my friend." That is kind of the longevity factor of what law firms can do to really build their business out. I want to have more employees. Sometimes I don't, right? Sometimes I don't. It's a lot.
Depends of the day.
I'm so thankful for such a great team, but it's just a lot of manage. It's a lot of responsibility. But
Sure.
the more people I can build, that means I'm doing something right. But with that, you need to create that trust for the branding and so I just think that there's not one right way to approach it or one goal, but there's so much benefit that you can drive from not just Instagram, but like I said, all different kinds of social media platforms.
Yeah, totally. And this is something that, by the way, if you're thinking about, going this route, my suggestion is that you don't just, go all in on this because it can get very expensive very quickly. Maybe pick one platform,
Hmm.
get really good at that, and then expand out from there. Um, but there's like the ultimate, and the ultimate is where you've got a PR agency working with you, and they're going to get you
Hmm.
speaking opportunities. They're going to get you placed in radio stations and newspapers and magazines and things like that, which is
Hmm.
really, really helpful and something I think that a lot of people overlook. Good PR, like a good PR agent, is worth so much.
Hmm.
And then you have professional video production.
Hmm.
for something like YouTube, and then you can repurpose it and use it for all the channels that do video. But it has to be professional. I know you hear a lot of people say that all you need is good audio. The video doesn't really matter. Like you and I are doing this, it's not professional,
Yeah.
really. But to do it right, the quality bar for video has really increased
Hmm.
on platforms. TikTok maybe less so, but on platforms like YouTube, where people are expecting video content that is kind of a lot of it's professionally done, that bar can be really high. And
Yeah.
so you got to invest money then in it's like a little mini movie. Right? You got to have the idea, the scripts, the lighting, the studio, the intro, the outro, all that stuff has to happen, and then you can have a really really nice, well done video that you can repurpose for a lot of things. Um, and
Yeah.
then social media expert one or two to kind of hit all your channels specifically because the way you build up from one channel to another, the way you engage with your audience from one channel to another um, is very different. So LinkedIn versus
Hmm.
Facebook or Instagram versus TikTok. I mean, these are all different ways of building your audience.
Yeah.
And so it takes kind of dedicated pros. So you can spend a ton of money doing this, upwards of six figures very easily. And so the question is, how do we ratchet down from that into a level of expense that's going to work while giving you an upgrade over what you have, and still giving you a return on that investment.
Yeah, and I'll talk a little bit about my experience in somewhat content creation. I built an online course and I created like a separate Instagram where I started putting out all different kinds of content and I was trying a lot of it. And the videos, what's funny is that you say that the higher quality videos that I did, I bought extra different tripods. I bought extenders for my iPhone, so it's a little bit more clear. I bought like lighting, so I have full on like
Yeah.
I can set up a photo studio in my office right now with all the lighting that I have going on. And those videos, I was like, oh, they actually look really good, but they didn't necessarily do as well because there's all sorts of different factors that you have to do versus like my little short videos, which is really just me and putting, kind of hook words on there that people are like, oh, what? And I'll read it. And then those would get more views. But, it's not really the information sharing that ultimately I thought would be most effective. And so there's a balance of what your goals are. And since I did that, I got so burnt out on content creation, which is the other problem. If you do a lot of these short forms and you're posting every day, sometimes multiple times a day, filming all of this stuff is so exhausting. But with figuring out a right plan, you don't have to do it like that. You can schedule one day in a professional studio, bring four outfits, and record 50 videos, and sometimes the videos can be reused without your audio, but you just talking, and then there's like text editing over it, right? You can reuse so much of this stuff. And you're exactly right. You have your Instagram reels, but those same videos can be put up on YouTube, podcasts just like this, or any kind of quick little sound bites can be reused. It's just about having a plan because the plan that I had where I was just dabbling in it and I wanted to learn a lot about social media and how it worked was the burnout. Doing it definitely requires a plan, but you don't have to do it as extreme because you can do, okay, one day for, every other month in a studio and record a bunch of videos and post twice a week for something like this and be able to control it a little bit more. So there's all sorts of different ranges, but I do agree that in the type of business that you're in, doing it in a much more professional-esque way gives you that much more content versus setting up a tripod and just recording some things that you say, which is fine. You can do that every once in a while too. But I totally agree. And it's just finding the balance in between, okay, I have a PR firm and I have all of these different things. That's the right way to do it when you're really building. But smaller firms can still capitalize on it in even a chunk of videos that you can use throughout the year, right? Like anytime somebody want some information, you can share that video over and over and over again. You can
Totally.
put it in your signature. If you have a really good one, put it in your signature in your email and people can click on it. There's just a lot of different ways to use those types of things. And a lot of it is just trying what's right for your personality and your business. And you won't really know that until see what you like
Right.
or
And
try
your budget. I mean, that really is
100%.
the driving factor, right? Budget and time for a lot of this stuff. The stuff that, we were talking about where it's a full blown thing, that is hours of time every month. That is, $10,000 plus every month. It's a
Hmm.
big investment. It's
Yeah.
probably over 30 grand a month.
Yeah.
And you don't need to do that to have results by any means. Like you can scale that way down, pick one platform, whichever one you like the most, whether it's Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or LinkedIn or just pick one,
Yeah.
where you're comfortable, where either you've got your ideal clients hang out there or your ideal referral partners hang out there, or both. Both is
Hmm.
great, but at least one or the other.
Hmm.
And master that. Get good at creating the content for that. You
Hmm.
can hire a VA through, any number of virtual assistant through any number of places who can do some basic stuff for you, and get the content out on the platforms. So you're not spending your time doing all the posting. You can focus on putting the right content together. They can also get you on a schedule, which I found
Hmm.
to be really helpful. It's like, with this podcast is a great example when my production team is telling me, okay, LA, you got to record an episode so we can fill the can with recorded episodes. That drives me to action. So having someone else
Yeah.
to push you to create the content is really helpful too. So VAs are great for that. And then as you start to expand it to different channels, you can start to invest more and more in that. And these studios are not that expensive. Like when I was
To
doing
rent. Yeah.
yeah, when I was doing the LinkedIn course with my buddy Gary Johnson, shout out to him, we did the same thing. We rented. He had a buddy of his had a really nice house that was they were renting it out as an Airbnb place. So
Hmm.
we just showed up there on a day when no one was there, obviously paid him for it. But then we were able to have the house to ourselves, set up a really nice studio, and we shot, oh, I don't know, 16 hours of video in like 2 days.
Yeah.
And it all looked great, and it didn't actually cost us that much.
Yeah, I mean, and this time around, it being in a different situation where if we're going to do media, that's what I would invest in and knock it out and do like a weekend worth of time and have content that you can use. But to your point, like there are at least ranges where you can start and make it work, right? You can get a good Bluetooth microphone and put on a good Bluetooth microphone, hook it up to your phone, put it on a good tripod, get at least either, a tall ring light. That's kind of what I have right now, right? Like a ring light even for these videos or when I was doing virtual court. Or I have like the standing actual kind of like big lighting systems that fold down and pick a good backdrop and you can still do it, right? You can still make good content on your phone for starting out to see what you like, right? Before you invest the money. So there's kind of step one is using your phone and nothing else. And maybe that works for some people, great. And then there's step two is getting a couple things that are going to elevate it, the microphone, the lighting, making sure that your camera is really clear, whatever phone you have, and then kind of the progression of renting space and knocking it out. Um, and there's not a one size fits all because to be honest, the person and their personality and the story they're telling is going to make a huge difference most of the time. But wherever your business is going to kind of drive you to which space is right, right? In my business right now, kind of doing just the basic selfie isn't the look that I would want. So that's not right for me right now. Even doing it myself with the stuff that I have, I don't know if that's the right thing for us right now. We would definitely be going to renting studio space, having it up, setting up 50 videos and having it on Instagram and YouTube because I know enough now, right? I know enough now in our business at a place now. And also just taking advantage from a social media perspective, connecting with people who are doing it well, right? If you connect with people who are doing it well, some of these people have podcasts. Maybe try to get on the podcast, practice your talking. I think on top of recording my own podcast last year, but being on, I think I was on like 12 podcasts for other people. And it was the first time I really kind of like put in effort to reach out and make connections with people because it's helped me do what I'm doing now, which is actually what's going to be the social media, which is just talking and acting natural and being who you are. Practice a lot of the times. And so again, it's just you gotta try.
And you got to make the time and the effort to try. The good news is, the
Yeah.
last episode we talked about, making all of these investments and how that's
Mm.
challenging for attorneys. This is super lightweight. Like you don't need a lot to get started at all.
No.
And it's really easy. And if video is not your thing, you can take photos. If that's not your thing and you want to write, LinkedIn is a great platform for posting written content
Yeah.
as well. Like, it's totally easy. Just this thing that I would suggest is that please don't try and post all this stuff on your own. If you can get a VA who can keep you on schedule
Mm-hmm.
and can do the legwork of posting the stuff, and they know the channel. So, LinkedIn, there's some things you want to follow, like you want to tag people where appropriate. You want to use, 3 to 5 hashtags, not more than that. And there's certain ways of formatting your LinkedIn content too. If they can help you with those kinds of things, keep you on track and be an
Mm.
asset to you in creating the content, that's what you want.
Yeah,
Um,
and what's important about that too is just doing it one off is not going to have the effect you want. And then you're going to not do it anymore. Right.
right.
Because you're like, this isn't really working. I'm not getting a lot of comments on here. You kind of you have to establish that consistency. And that means it has to be an actual part of the job you're deciding to do. Part of the plan. Okay, this is what we're going to do. I have to do this job. I have to do this many posts. I have to prepare it. And then you give it to, your VA or social media manager if you're able to have that, and they take care of the scheduling, the hashtags, the timing, all of that. So you can start seeing the effects. Because if you just do it randomly, like I said, I've done this, so I've seen it not work. And I've seen some things work, right? That you're gonna end up kind of resenting it and you're like, I'm not gonna do all this work if it's not actually gonna generate,
Right.
something for me.
There's like nothing worse than spending hours putting together this amazing, for us, it would be LinkedIn post, and you put it out there and you're like, man, I just poured my heart and soul into this, and you get like 2 likes on it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, what did I just do? And so there's
Yeah.
um there's definitely an element of that, and
Hmm.
this is, by the way, and we're kind of talking about it lightheartedly, but this is serious stuff. If you want to do it and
Yeah.
to be a result, you have to invest in a VA. You have to invest in a little bit of equipment, whatever that happens to be. And you have to invest some time. You have got to figure out what is the right platform. So where do your ideal clients hang out? Where do
Hmm.
your ideal referral sources hang out? And what platform do you like? The intersection of those is where you should get started. You pick that carefully, then you have to learn how to post to it. So your VA will give you some ideas, but you're also going to have to do some checking on your own, like learning about the platform, learning about the different things you can do with
Hmm.
it, learning,
Yeah.
watching videos from others giving you advice on how to use the platform, and then trying those
Yeah.
things out. So even though it's not a lot of money, it's definitely a commitment, and you should treat it like a serious commitment, because it is one, and if done right, it can really transform your business.
Yeah, and going back to, I think what we talked about last time, which is knowing what you're good at and what you're not, and hiring people that are better at that job than you, right? There are a lot of people who are really good at social media and understanding the trends and what people are looking for. That is their job. That's what they consider themselves an expert in. And it's such a part of our society now that to not embrace social media is, I think, an error for all business owners, and an error that I think my firm's currently doing right now, meaning, we have an Instagram. We don't really do a whole lot. I post on LinkedIn every once in a while, but not necessarily our business one, and we're not putting content out there. So that's why, I can acknowledge all this at the same time say I'm not doing this right now. I know the importance, but that's the next phase of a lot of the things I'm doing in my business to give me more time so I can invest in the things that I know my business needs and I want to do. And so the longer you wait, right, the more people are going to slowly start catching on and kind of be able
Mhm.
to accelerate past you in some of these realms. And so that for our business this year, along with our laundry list of 2025 goals, is is to really ramp up our content creation for the purpose of really driving our brand and and kind of stretching us to do something different.
Yeah, and I'm doing the same thing with my coaching business with Law Firm Success Group. We just rolled out our first newsletter this week, so that's been going out twice
Hmm.
a week, in addition to our weekly podcast eBlast.
Hmm.
Um, Plus, we do LinkedIn posts every week. But that newsletter is going to be really cool, I think, and we're going to
Yeah.
be adding some other changes to the podcast, which I'm very excited about, which I actually haven't had a chance to update you on. So, remind me to fill you in on that. I think you would
Okay.
like it. And then adding some more marketing on top of that.
Yeah.
I think the next channel for us is going to be either YouTube or Instagram. We're trying to figure that out. But it's going to be one or the other, and it's going to happen this quarter. So excited for that too.
Yeah, that's really amazing. I'm so glad you're doing that.
Yeah. So quick shout out to our sponsor of the podcast, Counsel CPAs. They provide back office support, bookkeeping, tax prep. Awesome people. Please reach out to them if you're looking to take that off of your plate at a reasonable price. Chelsea, thanks so much for being on the
Yeah.
podcast today. Give us a quick plug about your firm.
Yes, so Hepner Pagan LLP is a family law firm in Campbell. We specialize in mediation and family law. We just developed a full litigation team. We brought on a head of litigation, so we really can hit all the spots of family law from premarital planning and prenups and postnups to full service mediation. Both Emily and I, as well as our senior associate, are certified mediators and also having a full litigation team to handle trial related issues and involvement in court. We continue to grow and build. We love our clients. We're so lucky to be in a great community like downtown Campbell and working in Santa Clara County. So we're just really excited about all the growth and change that's coming for Hepner and Pagan in 2025.
Awesome. Well, you're doing great. Congrats on your success. And looking forward to doing this together with you.
Yeah.
At Law Firm Success Group, quick plug for us. We provide business coaching. A lot of it's private coaching to small law firms, think two partners or less, all across the country, focused on increasing income, taking more time off, or just enjoying life as a law firm owner. Something that's really cool, we just launched our attorney roundtable. So these are where we have small groups of attorneys get together confidentially for about an hour and a half on Zoom once a month, talk with each other about the issues they're dealing with, provide accountability to each other, and come up with solutions. So really
I
excited
love
for that
that.
too.
Yeah, that's such a good idea. That's kind
That's
of
off
been
to a
going
great.
exactly to what I complain about, which is people not opening up to other business owners and especially law firm owners. I absolutely love that.
It is. It's been really cool so far, and we're looking to see where it goes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chelsea.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Lawyer Business Advantage podcast. One thing that would really help both us and other new potential listeners is for you to rate this show and leave a comment in iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you tune in to listen. And I want to hear from you, so connect with me on LinkedIn and let me know what you think of this episode. And if you are a solo or an owner of a small law firm and you're looking to earn more money, attract better clients, or reduce your stress, we would love to talk with you to see how we can help. Request your free law firm assessment by visiting lawfirmsuccessgroup.com. Again, that URL is lawfirmsuccessgroup.com. We look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you for listening. My name is Alay Yajnik. Until next time, remember, you can seize freedom. You can embrace happiness. You can build your perfect practice.